Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Inches and Cubes podcast, a Warhammer 40K podcast that films in downtown Toronto.
We're on camera?
Yeah, sure.
Every time we're at Adams, we're on camera.
We're downtown.
I mean,
This is what you get when you
There
make
was.
the intro. So today we are talking about training day, how to get ready for a tournament. Stay tuned for some music and we'll get right back.
Adam, you want to tell us what we're back to? Well, tell you what. You seem like you're having a
I
problem.
was like about to clap and then you're like, we're back. And I was like, oh, does that mean we're starting? Or...
Yeah, we're starting. Well, let's do roll call. I, as always, am Paul, Mr. Fist Fowler. I'm here with...
Adam, the truest axe.
And point and click Nick, I just want to point out that this green is moot.
It's mood green, everybody.
That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, you're bad. Yeah, so today what we're going to do is, I guess I'm going to steal the intro from Adam now. We're gonna talk about how you get ready for a tournament, what you do as a player, and what's going to help you on the day of. Just because that's sensible. Point of order. Adam, do you have something you'd like to say?
Well, I just wanted to, because we started with this before we started the podcast, so that was the replacement for the bottle cap hitting the floor.
That's fair.
So, Nick, what did you get?
I'm disappointed by this beer. So this is a Belgian triple from Shacklands Brewery. We drank it on Sunday on our craft brewery crawl. That's tough to say. And it was way better at the bar. Brewery. Bottle shop?
Were you there kind of later in the day?
No, this is
or-
our second stop.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're pretty cognizant
Yeah.
of what was going on.
No, we were having good conversations at the bar. We were talking to the bartender. There was the heads up display from Star Wars, Episode 4: A New Hope, when he's in the Death Star trench and it's stay on target, right above.
Oh,
the
I saw you
urinal.
guys post that. That was funny.
Yeah, so it's a great place. The brewmaster or whatever his title is, Dave, cool guy. Will talk to you about beer. Will give you weird notes on the beer.
Yeah, everything apparently tastes like bubblegum.
Yeah, I think he might just be saying that to see who goes, yeah, it does taste like bubblegum.
Dude, you gotta stop chewing Hubba Bubba when you're tasting the beer.
But yeah, it's out of the bottle. It's just kind of
It's just flat.
or stat.
Yeah, flat. It has, like I said, it has that weird, do-it-yourself kit flavor that kind of all homebrew kits kind of have to it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever run into a disparity between draft and bottle.
Because it's not self-carbonated, right? It's flat.
Yeah,
Yes.
So it's not like a cask. It's not naturally carbonated. It's just, yeah. I mean, it'll get us drunk. It's fine.
yeah, it'll kill brain cells.
Cool. So,
I got another bottle, so don't worry. Not of this stuff.
Let's do our regular stuff. Hobby desk. I'll go first, just because it's going to be real quick. Didn't do anything except for tidy up my workspace.
So you did something.
Yeah. And I cataloged a lot of stuff and sorted out some bits and kits that needed to be put away. And
you had a good hobby graze.
yeah.
Sometimes you need to do that. Just recenter, prepare your space as nest a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it an appropriate place for new babies to be born.
Yep.
Or be made.
You've seen where my hobby desk is. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. Just taking care of some silly old reorganization and putting away some stuff I don't use.
Sweet.
Anyone else want to go?
Sure. I just, in continuing to work on the Falchion, it's a big tank.
Yeah.
It's a really big tank. Doing the highlights, the first layer of highlights on the purple and the metallics. Paul, I'm going to have to get some weathering tips from you.
Yeah, man.
We're going to have to do that up. And yeah, it's daunting. So that's what I've been working on. Does building Excel spreadsheets count as hobby progress?
No, it does not.
Damn it.
Turns out that those Forge World models are for expert modelers, Nick.
Well, considering the size of some Games Workshop models now.
Mm-hmm. Now, Adam, I know you got a lot to talk about.
I'll start with my personal stuff. I finished those 11 infantry, one of which was a character, the limited edition Primaris Captain. I got 5 Hellblasters done, and I got 5 Intercessors completely done, which I spoke about last week. I guess they were at about the halfway mark, and they're fully done. So I'm really excited about that because I need them ready for the tournament. And then I've also been going batty on a whole bunch of classic Tyranid models.
They're so great.
Yeah, like right here, I am looking at Old One Eye.
Yep.
Which was like, as soon as I saw the like, I guess 5th edition card effects, I was like, oh, is that Old One Eye? And I got close. I was like, yeah, it's Old One Eye.
Are these Crusher Claws the Forge World ones?
No, those are the old metal ones that are for Old One Eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are these ones the Forge World ones? Because I know there's...
Those are plastic.
Okay. Because I know there's like Forge World, like Stone Crusher Carnifex
yeah,
claws.
right. Yeah, neither of those are it.
Well, I lied.
But then also there's the Screamer Killers in there, which are super cool. Which is basically the old... It's like it's not the first Carnifex that came out, but maybe like...
I think it is. 2nd or 3rd edition, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely 2nd edition for sure. And then the Hive Guard, or Tyrant Guard?
The
ones all the way back. Oh,
yeah,
man.
those are super cool.
So the idea is...
Just pull them up. Just pull it up, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Originally, in the fluff, those were like Space Marine DNA.
Oh, Tyranid Warriors still are.
Okay.
Yeah, and the fluff Tyranid Warriors, because all like Biovores use Orc DNA, so these guys use Space Marine DNA.
So they basically, for those of you who can't see, you could search it on Google, but I could just describe it. They got 2 arms on each side, and on the left side they both combine into this like baseball mitt shield.
That's a good way of
with spikes all over it.
Describing it.
Yeah, it's a weird design.
Yeah, and they're standing up. They're bipedal. Unlike the new Tyrant Guard, which are like bending over and like kind of like in a big gorilla-like pose, these guys are fully standing up.
Yeah,
with also a sword and lash whips in the other hand. Yeah, pretty cool models. So
No, definitely classic style. I dig them. I know you're Mackenzie asked you to rip them apart because stack effects are out.
oh, like yeah, there's a whole bunch of weapon options, magnetized and stuff.
I know, but originally, because I remember playing him using these guys, and they all had the 2 Twin Link Devourers.
Oh, did they?
And then 8th edition dropped, and I remember him like posting a picture on the Hogtown group of like him ripping all the arms off of them, and being like,
Yeah.
wow, this is why I guess you magnetize things."
yeah.
Yeah, he did. They were already ripped off, so he just asked me to magnetize them for him.
That's too funny.
So.
And I gotta say, I'm looking at the claws and the like bone sights. What are these called?
Yeah, scythe thing talon.
Yeah, scything talons.
Scythian talent.
Sick of it. And like, I just really like the contrast you got on these guys. It looks really cool from like far away. It's this really... I find like sometimes your highlight, not like your highlights, but one's highlights can... Like, they benefit from like up close inspection, but these are going to look really nice and stark on the tabletop. Anything else on the old desk?
I mean, there probably is, but who can remember it all?
I mean,
Yeah. So right now it's Wednesday night at
quarter to 10? 10 to 10?
10, which means there's about 48 hours. Yeah, about 48 hours. No, let's go with
It would be an odd amount. It'd be right.
yeah. So probably
half day.
about 60 hours until the tournament.
Yeah.
And Adam still doesn't have a repulsor.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
5 Hellblasters.
When we talk about getting ready for a tournament.
No, those I don't need to paint those 5 infantry.
Oh,
I just
okay.
need to paint the repulsor, and then I'm good.
And
Actually,
those guys?
no, I don't need to paint them either.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Yeah,
just the repulsor.
Just the repulsor.
All right.
Oh, you're laughing. Well, let's move on to the general's armchair. What games has everyone played? Nick, you got any under your belt?
Yeah, so last night I got to play a practice game with Phil. We used the ITC mission. We played the number 6 in the pack, which was not the best for him. So the 6th mission is the 2 objectives.
Yeah.
When you're a gun line like my list is, my list can be mobile, but it does very well as a gun line. It's very difficult for the other player to score any bonus points because they hold their objective, you hold your objective, and then you just blow them away when they come close to you. There's no real jockeying for objectives, you know. I don't have to send out a unit to hold 2 objectives and then he can like pick them off one by one. So it'll be interesting to see how the missions play out. I quite liked the tertiary missions. Excuse me.
No, I'll get that.
Okay, he's got that.
Nick was just having trouble breathing.
Yeah. Just the way that the secondary missions work. I know in our overcompensating episode, I think we talked about the missions that we played in our test day back in October, and how we didn't like them. We used the score sheet, made it super simple.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it was quite easy. It was still some things going on that I think just come with time and just practice playing these games. And yeah, I think it's important for anybody who comes from a more competitive scene, coming and playing with our club. This is the first tournament like this. Just be patient, and most people aren't used to playing these missions. And so you're like, oh yeah, people will go out and practice and play these missions. No, they won't.
No, it's hard to find that time sometimes.
Yeah, it's very hard to find the time sometimes. So just be patient, explain it to them, help them along. Because, if we want the club to foster this sort of community within ourselves, this has to be a great experience for everybody going.
Yep.
But back to the game itself. So I ran my list, which is the same list that I usually run because I haven't had a lot of time to practice any other lists because I've been playing 30K and all that stuff. So we got Noise Marines, Cultists, Fire Raptor, Havocs, Lord, Demon Prince, Helldrake, and a Sorcerer. Phil did not run his Death Guard. He switched to his Word Bearer's Cultist Horde, which has about 50 cultists in it, led by a Dark Apostle with his 9-inch bubble, which I just completely ignored. He takes the Carbitus, the big claw that he has to carry around in a bucket that holds 20 guys.
It's the funniest solution that I've ever seen.
So he also runs Cataphractii Terminators, and he leaves aside almost 300 points for summoning.
Whoa.
Because one of the Word Bearer's stratagems is you can roll 3d6 for your summoning dice. So for anyone who doesn't know how summoning works now, you roll 2d6, and it has to meet or exceed the power level value of the unit you're trying to summon.
So they can summon in big stuff.
So he's rolling 3d6, and he's summoning in units of 30 bloodletters.
Now, with that, do you roll and then pick, or do you pick and then try to...
You pick and then try to summon them in. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it's whatever it is.
Yeah, things are things.
I mean,
Could you be less specific?
if you roll 3d6 and you roll a 10, you could be like, okay, I might bring in Be'lakor. I might bring in...
I think I've seen it's that way, yeah.
Yeah, so you see what you get, and then you
choose.
spend it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is really good, because the way summoning works is it's just any character in the army, if it doesn't move in the movement phase, can summon. And it's normal deep strike rules, but it has to be wholly within 12 inches of the character as well. We're talking 30 bloodletters just appearing bloop, next to somebody.
That's a bummer.
That's terrifying. And if you have more than 20 of them, they add +1 to their charge distances. Yeah, not fun. Then he's got Plasma Havocs. He ran a brigade. I don't know how he fit a brigade in.
I can imagine.
And 2 squads of Possessed as well. All in the Claw.
Holy
So the
cat.
Claw comes down. Everyone's got to get out, because the way Dreadclaws and Carbitus doesn't make any sense. If you've got a mobile transport, why do you have to get out when you land?
Space.
But that's besides the point. So then he uses Warp Time to send the Carbitus another 15 inches directly into your lines. And then it's got a gun that hits every unit within 6 inches of it and does D6 auto hits at Strength 8, AP -1, D3 damage.
Brilliant.
Whoa.
But it can only be fired if there's more enemy units than friendly units within 6 inches.
Fair.
Because it's just spraying bullets.
Oh, it cycles its Melta cutters.
Oh, I see.
Because it's meant to clamp onto a spaceship, cycle the Melta cutters, and then everyone charge the hole.
Got it. So they're as long as there's more bad guys around.
This is a viable option.
It eats people and regains wounds, which is a standard chaos thing.
Yep.
And it's pretty good shooting as well. So I knew he was excited about his new plan, so he told me what he was going to do, and I just lined up my cultists just at the 12 inches of my deployment zone and kept everything back so that he couldn't actually jump behind the line of cultists, and just ended up murdering a whole bunch of cultists. And I was like, they did their job.
Yep.
Highlights of the game was the fact that I completely ignored all of his cultists, and end of turn 3, he had his Dark Apostle, all of his cultists left, and he called it. Because at that point, he'd only killed a Rhino and the Demon Prince.
Oh, dude, that's just hard luck.
Yeah, he didn't make any of his first turn charges. Like, he had the 2 squads of Possessed, he had the Carbitus made it in. So he charged the Havocs first. He's like, I'm going to charge the Havocs. They're up there. The Havocs made it into the Cultists, and then neither squad of Possessed made it in. So, like, these Plasma Gun Havocs were like, oh, crap. So it was a fun game. Like I said, really liked the mission style. I also really like... At first, I wasn't too keen on the way that Chapter Approved in the ITC does first turn.
Yeah.
But the way that I thought about it now, you don't know who's going first until right before the game starts. So you have to be really conservative because you do not want to put your guys in a position for an alpha strike because that leaves you really, really exposed. And the +1 is not that much of a bonus.
Yeah.
Because I had a +1. I rolled a 6, you rolled a 1.
Could have been just as easy the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah. So, fun game. His list will do very well in the missions that have more than 2 objectives. Definitely.
Cultists just everywhere taking all the objectives, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Hard to shift.
Well, the thing about this mission, too, is it wasn't an objective is controlled by the player who has the highest number of models. It's units. So to control his objective, he was keeping all of his cultists by his objective.
Right, as opposed to harassing you. Like
yeah, and that's what I told him at the end of the game. I'm like, you should have just, like, lined up your cultists and said go. Because, like, I had trouble dealing with his stuff in the pod. And if the cultists were coming behind that...
Just flooding it.
And
taking away fire, yeah.
Taking away fire. Because 50 cultists, like, that's...
That's 50 wounds you gotta do.
Yeah.
Like, or whatever.
Yeah, that's my game played.
Sweet. Paul, you played a game. I saw a picture.
I did play a game. It was my first narrative game with James, our narrative cheerleader. Ton of fun, I gotta say. We did Meat Grinder just because of how excited he was getting while he was telling us about it on the podcast. I just knew that I wanted to play that. So set up a 120 power level game. We did power levels. First time I played power levels. Super fun. Super easy. I see the appeal of like the plug and play. It works very well for narrative missions. So we did Meat Grinder. I was the defender because Imperial Fists. And for a long time, James has been telling me about Mr. Fusion Face, which is his Tau commander that has 4 fusion blasters on his head instead of a head on the crisis suit. And like the idea...
Did he make it?
He did. He made it the night before for our game for me because he's a fine young gentleman. But just absolute blast of a game. So the idea is on a 2-up, the attacker's troops come back after they've been completely killed. On a 4-up, any other unit comes back. So I was like just leaving like vehicles crippled, so I didn't have to deal with them as much, or like leaving one fire warrior around where I could, just so he couldn't get that back. And basically that cut down on firepower that I was getting, that I was having to face. I modified the normal list that I take. It was 2 tac squads, a scout squad, captain, 2 lieutenants, sternguard squad, the Leviathan, the Cassiferum, and a Contemptor. Then also a Devastator squad and a squad of Terminators in a Land Raider. So it was like a lot of guns.
Yeah, it's a lot of long-range firepower.
Yeah, and he... basically, I was able to provide too many targets for him, so he couldn't take out my like big armor in any sort of like quick fashion.
And he was running Tau.
Yeah.
So. Come on, James.
Well, no, he did well, but when I destroyed, what's the one with the tank, the flying Tau tank with the big railgun on the back? Hammerhead. Once I blew that up, it didn't come back.
Oh yeah.
And he's got this great dice that's 3 yeses and 3 nos on it. So that's the 4-up dice he uses now. So it's like, does it work? Yes. Does it work? No.
I love it.
Like, James is just the most fun to play. Way more fun than Match now.
Because Machinar is not a nice person.
He's not a very nice
He's
person
an
at all.
awful human being.
But yeah, a lot of fun. I ended up winning just because he couldn't kill enough of my stuff.
What was the victory conditions?
I had to have something alive, and he had to kill everything. Go ahead.
So, could he not command point his hammerhead back in?
Because he tried command point something else.
Oh,
That
bummer.
Yeah. But my poor captain went down to a sea of fire warrior combats. Like it was
it
just
Vol?
Well, no, it's the new guy.
Okay.
The guy who's new at his job, who just has a bolter and a chainsaw. So he's just like tearing through bodies. Like
He's only got a 3 up, right?
yeah, he's only got
Yeah,
3
that's-
up. And he doesn't have a power weapon. Maybe I will give him like a power sword, but I
It's
really,
like 4 points.
yeah,
It's so cheap. It's so worth it.
yeah. But I just like the chainsword a lot.
Just give him the Teeth of Terror for free.
Yeah, but then he doesn't have Primarch's Wrath. Yeah, it'll probably be Teeth of Terra. You're right. Your cold stare was definitely correct.
Did Primarch's Wrath do anything?
No, this was shooting guys.
That's the one that does 2 damage, right?
Yeah.
On Fire Warriors.
Yeah. So I think Teeth of Terra has shaken out in all of my games to be the relic to take on that dude, because it's the cheapest relic to take because it's free, and it boosts the combat power of a guy that you don't really want to get in combat, but you're going to end up with him in combat.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to try and take him down.
Yeah, there's like the thing about relics is there's not that many out there that are like really buffy.
Like army force multipliers?
Yeah.
You mean? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the banner.
Yeah, and I would have to have a standard bearer for that one.
Yeah. Which is another 70 points or whatever.
An Inktiant. Yeah, so that a ton of fun. Again, MVP, got to be that Cassiferum Dreadnought.
More so than the Leviathan?
Well, the Leviathan charged forward and blew up. When that thing blows up, it's a 9-inch bubble, D3 mortal wounds. So it's just like that killed one of his devil fishes, the transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, killed one of his devil fishes that blew up, which killed like one of his commander, like small character guys.
Nice.
It was like the entire game was just like laughing my face off. Fire warriors within 15 inches though, holy smokes, it's ridiculous the amount of firepower they put out because they rapid fire 3 instead of 2.
What?
They add 1 shot, so it's just like rolling with the marker lights. It's like they're re-rolling their ones, or God forbid they're re-rolling everything. So it's just like blah, 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 blah. So
And they're just strength 5 1 damage, right?
yeah, but
No negative AP?
No.
That's still really good.
that would be too good.
Yeah.
Because strength 5 is brutal already, and like given the change to the wound chart, being toughness 3 isn't that big of a deal, and having a strength 5 gun is a way bigger deal.
Yeah.
So nuts.
Yeah, I was noticing that when I was facing cultists. I was like, wait a minute. Why are these heavy bolters hurting possessed Space Marines the same they're hurting cultists?
Fours?
Threes.
Threes? Yeah, that shouldn't be it.
Too late to change the wound chart now.
Yeah, maybe they'll errata it, but yeah, no, just a lot of fun. James is always a good guy to play with. Narrative games, super fun. Different win conditions, and it was not balanced at all. Like James is correct. Preliminary bombardment had me shaking in my boots. I burned 2 command points in the first preliminary bombardment, just because you can, before the damage is rolled, you can have the amount of mortal wounds, and he got it off on like one of the lieutenants. So I rolled it, and he only ended up taking 3 wounds as opposed to 6, which would have just flattened him. And I halved it against the Land Raider because I just didn't want to take 6 damage.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh, and he did the thing where he can spend 1 command point on preliminary bombardment and roll 3d6.
And pick the highest.
And pick the highest. So he said he was doing that, so I was like, I will have that. A lot of fun.
Have.
Have.
I didn't play no games. Womp womp.
Well, I mean, that's it for our regular post main topic pre-main topic ramblings.
Pre-post? Yeah.
Pre-post.
We're going to get more beer and come back right after this music break.
Ads. We're doing ads now.
Battle Brothers Studios, a commission painting service passionate about making your miniatures and your gaming table look great. Our philosophy at Battle Brothers is this: your army is our army. Every model will be something you can be proud to show off. Send us a message on facebook.com/Battle Brothers Studios for a free quote and make that dream project come to life. We also have something special planned for the release of 8th edition of 40K. Right now, get 20% off if you commission us to paint an 8th edition starter set, or get a 10% off Army Bundle bonus for painting up your new 8th edition 40K Army. Inquire with us on Facebook for full details.
Hogtown, Hogtown, Hogtown!
Saturdays at Sword and Board!
Rock and Bloor!
It's behind the pizza.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Idiots. Boo!
And we're back for the main topic, Training Day. So this is... Oh!
Well, that sounded more carbonated than the last one.
It sure did. So, Nick, while you're pouring this up, why don't you tell us what this is?
This is an obscure monk. Ooh, yeah. There we go. So I don't know what type of beer this is because there's no label on it.
Well, there's a label, but it doesn't tell you.
Right, yeah.
what
It
kind
just
it
says
is.
obscure monk and the ABV. Because I went to Shacklands and got the last one, and then it's just a list of beer. It doesn't tell you what they are. It's just their names. And I'm like, why don't you just give me a good one? He's like, oh, the obscure monk's good.
Here, just give me a teeny taste. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. So what we're gonna do, because we don't know what kind it is we're all gonna try it and then we're gonna vote.
We're gonna guess.
Yeah, we're gonna guess what kind of beer is this.
It smells stinky.
Oh, it has a really metallic taste to it, doesn't it?
I don't get any metallic from
Okay.
it.
I don't know if I can even tell the difference between that and the last one.
It's carbonated.
Yeah, it's carbonated.
I think it's like a Belgian double. I don't think it's a triple.
Color's really dark. Yes. Really opaque.
I like it. I think it's a good beer.
Definitely a step up.
Mm.
Oh, and look at the amount of sludge in there. They're definitely doing.
Whoa.
They're definitely priming their bottles, which means they're putting more sugar in, and the yeast is eating it, so it ferments in the that's at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, 2 of these is a bad hangover. Look at that. That would.
Yeah.
I mean, cool, but
Go to Shacklands and drink their beer on tap. Don't buy their bottles.
yeah,
There you go.
till they figure that part out.
So
Not getting sponsored by them now.
Yeah, let's
Hey,
burn
man.
those bridges.
when they get good, we'll try it again. We'll give them a good review.
Yeah. Also, if you're still out there and you like beer, send us some, and we will drink it for you.
Yeah.
I think I had a conversation about that at Henderson's with the homebrew club, but I don't remember that late at night. So
Well, hopefully you didn't give us a bad rap, but
Podcast. Wow, that is so cool.
So Training Day is all about how to prepare for a tournament, and there's kind of 2 sections to this. There's the on-table preparation, and there's the off-table preparation.
push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups,
That's it.
A log on your back like Rocky.
burpees. No burpees.
No, never burpees.
I hate burpees.
But maybe Carl Weathers as your best friend.
So,
Yeah. No
But-
one watches Rocky. Okay, fine. All right, that one's just for
that
Simon.
was just for you. Yeah, Simon, there you go. So by on-table stuff, we're talking about painting prep and list preparation, strategy missions, that kind of stuff. Off-table prep being stuff like a survival kit to last a 2-day thing and how to survive a 2-day event, all that kind of stuff. So, and planning for that. So let's just start at the top of the list and just work our way through.
Yeah, so last-minute painting. I don't have any. I have to go pick up a display board from Paul.
No, but you had to do it before.
Yes, I've done it before. I find that tournaments are some of like the best motivators for me to get stuff done. Especially if like there's a list you really, really want to bring. That it's the only real way to set a deadline for yourself. And it's a lot of fun to like push that. I remember back when I first started in the hobby and I first started playing in the Hall of Heroes tournaments years ago. Do you remember those?
Oh man, yeah. I actually have a little trophy. I won Best Sportsman at one. This little Hall of Heroes, the glass.
I've got two. I've got two for best overall. They're
Nice.
up on my shelf. I love them.
There you go.
But I literally remember being in the back of my mom's car, and like she's driving me and my friends because I was like 14, 15 and couldn't drive. And I've got like a bucket of sand and white glue.
You're still basing. You're
Still
just getting
basing guys on the way to the Games Workshop.
Yeah, nice.
That's so dirty. Like, don't ever be like that. Though I remember in like White Dwarf articles, there would be stories of people that would like fly to events and they'd just be painting on the plane, like channeling the spirit of Adam painting in an RV, which might still be my favorite.
You like that picture?
I do. I really like that.
Feet up on the dash.
Like every now and then I think of it and it warms the cockles of my heart. Like it's just nice.
Your heart has cockles?
Yeah.
Oh.
Guys, look it up. It's not dirty.
So if you're okay, so let's say it's kind of. I mean, this happened when the edition changed, right? Meta changed. Everybody's painting new stuff. Or you're just starting a new army. Like there's always that situation where it's like, all right, that first tournament, that's my motivator. So like Nick said, sometimes you use that to reverse engineer your painting goals.
Yeah.
Like we got an event, and so I'm going to use it as motivation. Sometimes it's like, no, actually, like I need to paint because I have to. Like I don't have anything to use if I don't paint this. And so you gotta make a schedule, and you gotta just say in your mind or write it down if you need that extra motivation. You're gonna say, I need to get this amount of work on these models done on each of these days, right? And just schedule it out and say I got to do it, or else, which I have done many times, you end up painting all night the night before.
Yeah, and then you're just crazy in the face.
Yeah.
Which is not good. It doesn't add to your tactical acumen.
No. You make bad life choices.
Yeah, or like on the board, hopefully. Hopefully you.
Both.
Yeah. Love the idea of Adam losing a game and be like, well, I bet my car on that game.
I just texted Connor to see how his painting's going. So
Oh, good.
get some live updates from him.
It's like a bust his balls live.
And also for me, like this is an important one for me because I'm a painting guy, so I may not get best painted, but I always want to be up there, and I'm always looking around to see who the painting guys are, and I'm comparing myself, right?
Yeah.
So that's for me. Like we had this conversation. We've had this conversation many times actually. Like minimum painting requirement for me is whatever your painting level is, right? None of this 3-color minimum stuff. Like a fully painted model is what you're capable of in my mind.
Yeah.
Not your best capable. Whatever you're painting that army to be, paint it like that, then it's done.
It's funny, so this narrative game, I used a couple of models that I haven't used in a while, and I noticed that I have to go back in and finish a couple of details that I normally wouldn't do because I was finishing them for Astro, the Devastator squad.
Ah, okay.
I was like rushing to get those done last year before last now.
This year.
This year, yeah. Okay. How old am I? Yeah, so
April was a long time ago,
it feels a long time ago. So I was rushing to get those done, and I noticed that there's like between the body and the head, you can still see like too light of a color. So I got to go in there,
Get a wash on it,
and shade it again. So, and that's what my hobby progress is probably going to be, like noticing weird little details. Or maybe that's what I'll just bring that and paint it while I'm TOing this tournament.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
TOing this tournament's going to be pretty easy.
I think it will be. I'm preparing to field a lot of questions about the missions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would suspect that. So, is that anything else about painting, Paul? Do you strategies for painting prep for you?
Well, I think everyone's got the strategy of like, okay, I'm going to add these units to my list. I've been looking for a reason. But everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, to borrow a line from philosopher Mike Tyson.
Speaking of which...
Speaking of Mike Tyson.
Speaking of getting punched in the face, what do you got there, Adam?
So I got a Hop City Brewing Company Amber Ale.
Delicious.
Pretty standard. Look at this nice dark color coming out. This nice thick head. Brilliant. And I'll leave a little extra for whoever wants
Okay.
some of that. But yeah, there you go. Hop City. They're fun. Where are they from again? I should have been prepared for that. I think it's Brampton. Yep, Brampton.
Yeah.
This is their flagship brew. Ooh, fun. Superbly smooth balancing act of noble hop bitterness and caramel malt sweetness.
Noble. That sounds fantastic. So yeah, at that point, once you get rocked by life or whatever, and you've got to prioritize stuff, how do you do that? So do you drop the stuff out of the list before the date, or do you start to relax your painting standards? So I know what one you would pick. I feel like you would rejigger your list so you didn't have to bring unpainted models at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're looking at me like, what are you even talking about? How is that even an option?
So, to be fair, though, life happened in a big way when we did that Kill Team one, that Kill Team tournament, and I just had to deal with where I was at because I wanted to do something new and different, so I took orcs, and I did. I relaxed the painting standard, but I still, my painting values still held the same, so I painted everything to the same standard, right, and all that, even though it wasn't the best I could do. It was, like I said, life happened, and it was what I could get done.
Yeah, and that's like a fine way to look at it. So yeah, that's you assessing what I can feasibly get done, and if that is something you apply on an army level, then luckily Kill Team allows you to do that. I know some people that won't be named are trying to push the is this good enough for 3 colors or a painting standard? So it's it's not if you gotta ask.
Yeah, if you're asking that question, it's definitely not.
That's an issue where, if you're intentionally trying to see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
And you should that should never be the heart behind it, right?
I don't think anyone's trying to get away with it. I think they're trying to justify it to themselves because again, life gets in the way. At this point, you have to bring that list. You can't change your list last minute. Right 3 days before the event. So if you're in a crappy situation where something comes up, and if you had your painting schedule and be like, I'm gonna have this unit painted for Saturday, and then it's like, oh no, I have to work or something happens. What do you do? Is this good enough? It's more of a am I okay? Just validate.
They need
me.
permission to be okay with
me.
themselves.
Yeah, they need permission to be okay with themselves. No one in our gaming group is trying to push the limits of what they can get away with. Everyone, even people who are just starting out in the hobby, whose painting skills are, amateur, they're getting way better. They're taking a lot of pride in painting their own stuff and having it painted, and it's great to see because that's what makes you a better painter is having that pride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, caring about your stuff really shows. So yeah, I think that is a good thing to end the painting segment of painting new stuff. It's have pride in your colors, like the Red Scorpions would.
And just one more note on this.
Oh.
To survive the next day, I remember definitely a few GW staff tournaments where we were painting all night the day before, and to survive the next day, we definitely were rocking the Baileys and coffees.
Oh yeah. You drank coffee back then?
Only in situations like that. And only if it had Baileys in it.
Well, I quite like that amber lager.
Oh yeah, that's delicious. That's a very dependable, delicious beer. And actually, this obscure monk is actually growing on me the more I drink it. It needs a couple of minutes out of the bottle.
Yeah, to aerate.
It's a thing
For wine. Maybe it's a thing for beer too.
Of course, it would be a thing for beer.
We should get one of those aerator caps for these big bottles.
just a mess. So, what about your hobby stuff? How do you do your hobby, your game curls, your top of the game?
Sorry.
How do you prepare for your games? How do you train for those? You know what? I'm just gonna leave that mess in there because it's kind of funny. What do you do?
Well, there's two things. One of which is more theory based, and that's very much brush up on rule sets that you're not too familiar with. So, for example, yesterday, before I played Phil, I knew that he had a lot of close combat, so I went back and read over the fight phase and the assault phase rules, just because I wanted to make sure I understood all the intricacies of piling into other units, and then their activations, multi-charging thing, how Overwatch works. Because remember now, if you can Overwatch, and if that unit fails to charge,
You can
Overwatch again. Just little tiny things like that, like being within an inch of an inch, figuring out. That's more like on a big rule book scale thing, but also this type of tournament gives you the ability to see your opponent's lists, and if there's anything you're unsure about, I'm rolling the dice here. Please don't match me up against Matt Schnarr, because I have not read the Tyranid Codex or anything that happens.
I got a feeling that he's going to be really tricksy. This.
If you're worried about a specific opponent because you haven't read that codex, then you're already way ahead of me because I haven't read any codex.
Read that codex.
I will. I'll download it tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
But just rules. Rules is huge. You got to know the rules. Even if you don't know the codex specific rules, knowing the main rulebook rules is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where, because you're more of a game guy. Like, you're going to win some games, right? And I would
have fun, Adam.
I would never, not that I would never think to do that, but it's definitely one of the last things on my mind to do that. And that's actually a great tip for people who are going for the game side of it. So.
Well, especially, I find 8th edition is almost a little bit less forgiving than 7th in terms of measurements and model placements. Model placements and distance is so important to get those bubbles, to make sure you're just out of like another unit's 3-inch consolidation, to like set up a trap for heroic intervention, or to make sure that you're blocking units for deep strike. Like 7th was a very free game. You can move very close to enemy models, right? But in 8th edition, like, you move close to an enemy model, you're now engaged with that unit.
Yeah,
you might not want to be engaged.
Accidental
with that
heroic intervention, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's like it's really important to know the rules on distances, because I almost lost I almost had my Demon Prince killed first turn when I was playing Phil, because I finished off the movement phase, and I was like, oh wait, my Demon Prince is now the closest model to your entire army. Luckily, he's got warp time, so I cast the power and jump back behind my lines.
Smart.
Yeah, but distance is just so important. So, like, understanding how that works is just something to definitely keep in mind.
Yeah, like, crush your basics, and you'll do okay.
Yeah, and so maybe to recap, review kind of the core rules.
Yeah.
One more time, if you don't get practice games.
Or
even
something you're rusty on.
Yeah, and then maybe even if you're a gamer guy, in my mind, a way to simplify all this is like look for the top tier stuff and read those codexes.
Well, to be fair, also Adam has taken Gilliman on his list, and I informed him about an hour ago of a rule that Gilliman has that makes him ridiculous that Adam didn't know he had.
Don't you worry about Adam. Day of, he'll be fine. Like, that's, no. Adam is a guy that rises to challenges.
No, I know.
It's just frightening to watch it before it actually happens. That is something that I have come to learn about Adam in most things.
A hot mess until it's execution time.
Yeah, like hot mess. Watching him get ready for stuff, it's like, I can't deal with this. I gotta look away. And then when it comes to finished product, no matter what it is, it's like, oh, that's actually really, really nice. That works. You know what you're talking about. Like, yeah. So I'm not worried about people like you. You just make it look easy. But I think your training games are really important because everyone has a theory on how their army works. Everyone thinks they understand it. You want to get it in there and see what pieces move, how they work, and if you're doing your test games before you submit your lists, what can drop out and what can be put in and where's the fat. Because, at a tournament, especially an ITC tournament like this one is, you are cutting weight, you're doing other boxing metaphor stuff, because we like sports. So
injecting mercury into your gloves.
You watched CSI as a kid. It was a home remedy cure for stomach ulcers. Anyways, yeah, that's a deep dive on a CSI episode.
Don't drink mercury.
No, it's bad for you. But it is pretty metal.
Heyo.
Boom! Ba-dum-dum.
That was great.
Yeah.
That worked on 2 levels.
I feel pretty good about it. You know what? I'm gonna be going to bed tonight smiling about that joke.
Pretty metal.
But yeah, just figure out how your list works as a machine.
Yeah.
And like tune it up in like a deadly way.
Yeah, I wish I had more time to prepare.
And none of us are really getting some solid practice games in for this next coming event, right?
No.
Yeah,
We're
but
too
you
busy.
like
I mean, we did our round robin back in October. That definitely helped.
yeah, that helped. That's gonna help me TO this thing. I know sort of what the issues are gonna be when they come up. A lot of people are gonna have trouble with the score sheets.
Yes, definitely.
So that's why I was like, read the player pack in the Facebook group. But we'll move on. If you're listening to this on the Friday before the tournament,
Read the player pack.
Let's turn this off and read the player pack, and then you can come back. So yeah, after your training games,
Oh, read the player pack? Is
Yeah.
that next on the list?
yeah,
Yeah, review the player pack.
mm-hmm.
Because there's some random stuff in there. For example, the first level of ruins block line of sight.
Yep, that's
Remember that.
That's super random. I'm gonna go read the player pack.
It's because the ITC missions are designed for lots of line of sight blocking terrain.
So that helps add more line of sight blocking.
Right,
to
because
the
the
table.
ITC tournaments are played with ITC terrain that Frontline Gaming produces, which is line of sight blocking. So as like a rule, like if you're going to run your own little event, here's how a quick fix to make sure that the Games Workshop ruins that always have windows that everybody can see through. Like especially with the way cover works in 8th, like if I have like a falchion sitting on let's just make this absurd. A falchion sitting on one side and like a Leonardo's battle tank sitting on the other side of the building, like just because I can like see through 3 different buildings on the ground level, I can still shoot you.
With
And
all your guns.
with all my guns. And it's -5 AP, so there's no cover. So screw that. Bottom level of ruins blocks line of sight, makes it a little bit better, and gets a little bit away from like the gun lininess that is 8th edition.
Sweet. I like that rule.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so-
go read the player pack and find out what the other ones are.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. By now, everyone's familiar with the comp. We've beat that thing to death.
Yeah.
But that's where you'll find...
It's too late for that. The comp's done.
Yeah. But that's where you'll find the composition rules for your tournament, if there are any. In this one, we do have them. You're familiar with them.
But things like there's no random battle length.
Yeah.
Missions last 6 turns, no random game length. That's it.
Sweet.
So there's no turn 5, getting your ass out of the fire. But there's no turn 6, oh god, I hope this doesn't go to 7.
I miss that element. But I understand the randomness of it, especially with command points.
Yeah.
It makes it a little weird.
Yeah. Read the missions. Those are in the player pack. Read
Please,
the missions.
please read them.
Yeah.
They are complicated, but I think these ones especially do a great job of balancing some of the issues with 8th. And as the guys who designed the missions have said, they're very much tilted to give the person who goes second an advantage. To really get rid of the alpha strikiness of going first list.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good advice. I mean, we have this tournament coming on Saturday, but this is good advice for all tournaments of all time. And
Yeah, like if you're registering for a tournament, odds are you're going to be getting materials in advance. Read them. Consider it like a job interview. You would probably look up the company's website, and if they have an app, you would download that, wouldn't you? When I was at Kobo, you wouldn't believe how many intern interviews I would be in, where it's like, so how do you like the app? And they'd be like, oh, I don't read ebooks. And you'd be like, cool. You're not going to work in them either.
Wow.
Obviously, you wouldn't say that,
yeah,
but you would think it loudly
I
with
mean,
your face.
just that disappointed dad look.
Which I have nailed.
Nice. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so...
Wait, we should take a picture and post this with the podcast on social media. You didn't listen to this week's podcast. Angry dad face.
Yeah, so read your materials.
Yeah, and that includes, again, we're using an app and a format that allows people to look at other people's lists before the event. So you can play some theory hammer in your head of just what you think's going to happen and prepare for all eventualities.
Yeah, like you're going to be with the Best Coast Pairings app, and they didn't pay us to say this. You get to look at everyone's list.
We didn't pay them anything either.
Shh.
Good.
Don't get me started on that. The free version is fine after I came to terms with some things.
The fact that it was free.
Yeah, the free thing, but the search function being a premium like add-on, it was affronting to
You're
me.
like, this is a basic function of the thing.
Yeah, this is how smartphones work. But anyways, I get it. You get to look at other people's lists. You can look at these lists and have a plan in relation to your list.
Yeah.
And that plan might just be like, I'm going to get pantsed. Like...
Yeah, if I go up against this list, I hope I don't get tabled by turn 3.
Yeah, like, and
Right.
that's
great.
Yeah, it's just good to look at the list and be like, well, here's some realistic understanding of what might happen to me.
Yeah. And hey, maybe that's a reality, and you're like, you know what? I still may be floating somewhere on the top table, so if I just make that guy get less points, then maybe it's not so bad at the end of the day, right?
Pull a Connor, yeah. Honestly, if I go up against either you or the other guy playing Gilliman, my only goal that game will be to kill Gilliman.
You're that worried about it, eh?
No, I just hate him. I think he's like the Mary Sue of the Mary Sues.
You're just mad that Fulgrim wasn't able to kill him.
When did that happen?
Fulgrim cut like half his head off.
In the story, or like
Yeah,
the fluff, yeah.
that's who wounded him.
half his head?
Yeah.
Cut him at the neck halfway through,
Oh.
and then he went into stasis for 10,000 years because
Okay.
of that.
Yeah, he does have like a really thick neck covering on the model, so that makes sense.
He's scared of his neck getting cut.
You
by-
better run him with the helmet on, though.
On the day of?
Yeah,
Yeah, so helmet off for display, helmet on for battle.
exactly.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Fight me.
Sweet, what's next on our list?
Yeah.
Pick
so-
a goal.
Yeah, so this is one that Simon brought up that I really liked, and actually might be the concept that he raised that made me like him as much as I do, and that is have a personal goal for tournaments. So it might not be, I want to go in, I want to wreck face, I want to run this stuff. Like, I want people to shake in their boots when they hear my name. It might be like, you know what, I want to win like a full 50% of my games. I want to have a good time. I want to see some stuff, and if I take it in the shorts on a couple of the games, no big deal.
Yeah.
I have a very rare thing. I have breaking news.
What's your breaking news?
Breaking news. Sly Marbro is back.
Are they remaking the model?
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's got
Whoa.
like a suppressed machine
Yes.
pistol.
Come on now.
He's got like a great machete.
Oh,
He's
that's a good
just,
model.
He's ripped. He's standing on an orc head.
Look at this Venus
There's
flytrap
a
on his
Venus
base.
flytrap thing.
That's
I don't even
amazing.
know what that thing is. But there's
Thank you for that. Now,
there was a great regimental standard today,
okay.
and it was a whole bunch of guard units kept finding cultist units like just strung up in trees in the forest, and they're like, we have a few theories on this. It's like, number one, they're turning on each other. Number two, there's one space marine wreaking havoc, and they're like, Sly Marbro does not exist.
Do you mean Rambo?
Rambo.
Sly Stallone?
Sly Stallone, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna buy that model. I'm gonna paint it because I love Sly Marbo.
I hated him in 5th or 6th when he would just show up and throw a demo charge at somebody.
I mean, like that sucks, but the idea of the model is just too cool. Where it's just like this dead-eyed guy who like comes out of the jungle, and like there's a little bit of fluff where it's like he comes out of the jungle to receive orders, and they have all these medals for him, and he's just like, no, and then goes back into the jungle, and like
Shit, I'm still in Saigon.
I hope they give him the rules that's the same as the one assassin that's like shows up 3 plus d6 inches away from the enemy.
Oh,
Like, he can start really close.
Yeah, because I feel like he should be the model that is just more powerful than anything that even makes sense. Like like his rules should not even be coherently attached to the real world.
Right.
He's not what you'd call a team player.
Is that their description?
Yeah.
And he should have a bow and arrow.
Yeah, and he should only kill one guy and be really broken up about it, because that's the only people. Like First Blood, Rambo kills one guy, and it's like a really big deal.
Yeah.
First Blood's a really good movie. Yeah,
Back when Rambo was about, like, America dealing with its post-Vietnam War.
as opposed to like teaming up with the Mujahideen to like fight Soviets.
That never happened.
Didn't it?
Never happened.
Okay, but all right. Well, that's your news flash and how much we love Sly Marbo. We probably could have saved that for fun time.
I like the live news.
Oh yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Live news 3 days later.
So back to picking your goal. So
Yeah.
what are some other... How are some other ways this can play out to be practical for folks?
I want to go 2 or 3. 2 out of 3
Right.
wins.
So pick a number of games you want to win,
Yep.
or what else?
I want to go and like find out the meta of a certain area is a fine goal. I want to go meet a couple of players and tell them about my podcast.
Like, yes, okay, so networking.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
when I went to the Horus Heresy event, my goal was to play 3 new people and 3 brand new armies, and I accomplished that.
Nice. Nice.
And like meet some folks. This is a really
Yeah.
social game if you want it to be.
Yeah, meet some new friends. I like the explore new meta, so I would just say like expand your horizons a little bit. Right? See some new tactics, just to see new things. You know?
Can you, like, really push the podcast on Saturday?
Yeah, I'll
When you're, like, doing announcements and stuff?
well, like at the end of the day, I'll be like, and tune into Inches and Cubes next week for a post-tournament analysis.
Oh, we have some prizes, so maybe one of the prizes we could have, like, a podcast trivia.
Who knows Paul, Nick, and Adam the best? That's my.
I like that idea.
That's cute.
It's a bit.
It's better than a random draw.
Yeah, I suppose.
So another, like for me as a painting guy, I'd be like, I wanna nail X painting score, right? If it's out of what is ours out of?
42.
42. To be like, I want to get at least 35 out of 42 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right?
I think next Astro, I'm gonna go for best single painted miniature again, and like just crush it with a Space Marine Sergeant again.
Nice.
Nice. I'm not gonna let you do it.
Why not?
He's coming.
I'm gonna try and come this time. I think.
Yeah. But like, that's fine. Competition is good for creativity.
Yeah. Because you might win Best Painted, even if you have the Best Painted single miniature. If you win Best Painted, you can't win Best Painted single miniature. And then
they
Paul will
split
win
it.
by default.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm
So I'll take care of the rest of the guys in the best painted single so that you can win it, and I'll just take army.
And then if
Perfect.
Connor doesn't chipmunk Mike's army score, maybe Mike can win Best Overall.
Connor's
You just get mad at him.
sandbagging son of a biscuit.
Oh, we brought that up on Saturday, and Mike got visibly animated.
Animated and angry.
He wasn't angry, but
Animated.
yeah,
He started talking about it.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna finish off that amber ale, and then what else do we have?
Day adult. So you've got this question. So that's a great one. But what are your like day of rituals?
Well, yeah,
So like always, I go to Tim Hortons. I get a large double. I get a farmer's breakfast wrap with sausage. It's the best. There's a hash brown in the wrap. It's got everything you need for a day of gaming. I go to Dollarama. I get some Gatorade. I get some Snickers bars, or the knockoff Snicker bars. I think they're called Titan. They're 50 cents each.
these are delicious wicker bars.
And a ton of water.
Yeah, like have a bug out bag ready. Every apocalypse game that I've played at Sword and Board, I go to the grocery store and I get a box of the cashew butter Nature Valley granola bars. I throw them in my messenger bag. I'm like, when I get hungry, and I will get hungry, I'm going to eat one of these because it's just like salt, sugar, fat.
So I don't get hangry.
Yeah, it hacks your lizard brain into thinking like, I'm going to survive. I'm going to live.
Yeah.
Ooh, can I tell a story about this
Yeah,
particular thing? So a buddy of mine, he's an old timer Astro player, right? And he's like he's kind of a painting guy, hobby guy, like did all that stuff, but he would also go to win, right? And so he had that competitive edge. And anyways, he told me a story one time about how he just blacked out for an entire opponent's turn because he got so hypoglycemic from not eating.
Oh, no.
And he snapped back into it kind of halfway through their turn and started freaking out because he thought his opponent was cheating and like taking his models off the table and stuff. No. Yeah, and he just went into a rage because he was like, yeah, he just didn't know, and he blacked out. It was,
How on earth would you handle that?
I've been at like end of round 2, beginning of turn 3 with just like the biggest headache ever because you like get so caught up you just don't drink water. Even if you're eating lunch, it's like you don't drink water for 6 hours.
It sucks.
It's not good.
And to quote Connor, it sucks to suck. Man, that is brutal, though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, someone stealing half a turn on you? Or being accused of doing that when you did not?
Just blowing Stardust in your face and then taking off your models and putting them away for you.
Neatly, the way that you would have done. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like...
And this dude's he's a personal trainer by trade, so he's like a big guy, you know? It would be so scary to have that guy be really mad at you.
Especially, like... And that guy needs calories.
Yeah.
Like, a friend of mine he's like a personal trainer and bodybuilder. And I will, like, go out somewhere with him. He'll be like, can we just swing into Wendy's real quick?
Just need to top up.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no, like, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I really need, like, one of those Wendy's chicken sandwiches. That'll be really great for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but I'm just going to watch you eat it.
See, I do that, but it's, like, only because my body would just eat itself.
Yeah, because you're, again, built like mid-tour Iggy Pop. Is that a reference you get?
No, but, you know, probably without the drugs.
Well, he's pretty straight edge now. Like,
Yeah,
likes a nice
know.
glass of wine every now and then. But yeah, like, have a bug out bag. Like, have some granola bars, some gum, some...
Your breath will get bad after all that coffee.
Yeah, get your coffee.
Put deodorant on in the morning.
Put deodorant on.
If that's not your ritual, make it your ritual.
I throw deodorant in my bag. Like, I have a carry-on that I take to tournaments.
And then super glue and a X-Acto knife.
Yes.
Yeah, because how many times have you gotten there and someone's like, who has glue? I need glue.
Yeah, even if it's not for yourself, do it for your buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's always great to have that kicking around. Oh, and dice.
Check your gaming.
Make sure you got your dice. I had a panic attack because I forgot where I put all my Chaos Space Marine data cards, and then I realized I'd already packed them away.
Make sure you don't have a tape measure that's about to break.
Or in metric.
Or in metric.
Paul did that once.
I did that once. I bought a dollar store tape measure and I pulled it out. I was like, what the hell are centimeters?
We're not playing Battlefield Gothic.
I just felt like it was so bizarre that it only had one. Like it didn't have. What construction site uses centimeters?
I was going to say, I think there's still a dent in the wall for that. Take your toss.
I think I took it from you.
Yeah, because
you're like, you can use this for Battlefield Gothic. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, it's a handy thing, but it felt crazy. It felt like it was a Mandela effect moment, you know, where
make sure you got your templates.
Get them out of the freezer.
Get them out of the freezer.
Flamer template makes a really good ice scraper in a pinch.
Not even with ice scraper.
So here's something I like to do as a ritual: is just go out to lunch with a group of people you don't really know, or an individual you don't really know, and just get to know them.
Yeah, it's tough when you're organizing or doing a leadership role in tournaments.
Yeah, if you're a TO, you can't do that. But,
oh no, like, and honestly, it's weird. Every time I've TO'd, someone's just been like, "I'm gonna grab your lunch," and I'm usually like facing eyes into a spreadsheet, so I'm just like, "Sure,
thanks."
Yeah, like the.
Well, I'd like it if the club paid for the TO's lunch.
Yeah,
from now on. Definitely be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. After this tournament, we'll do it. We'll just like throw that in. It's not cool to like do something like that before the executive can sign off on it.
Yeah. No, for sure. But you're also in for a treat because we have a very generous member who always buys a gift for the TO.
Oh, that's cute.
He bought when I TO'd. Can't remember which event it was. I think it was the last doubles one. Not that I didn't play in it. I actually TO'd it. He bought me a drop pod.
Oh wow!
Wow,
That's a really cool guy.
yeah.
Whoever that is out there, bless their soul.
Yeah, and way to be an example to the rest of us.
Exactly.
To step up in our generosity.
So yeah, have a bug out bag and be nice to the TOs.
Yeah.
We'll be nice to everybody because for this tournament, we're introducing a very special prize, which is Paul's Choice. The Paul's Choice Awards.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul's got 2 $10 gift certificates for Sword and Board, and he's going to give it to deserving people for what he thinks.
Well, Mike gives one, I give one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Will it always be called the Paul's Choice Award, even if you're not TOing it?
I hope so. The Paul Memorial Award. Though I'm still alive and well. So yeah, I think that's like a pretty good rundown of like what you should get ready and what you should know for a tournament. If you're listening to this Friday morning when this thing comes out, call in sick to work and get ready.
Get your stuff painted.
Yeah.
And pack your bag.
Yep. I'll have some hard candies on hand probably because I'm an old man.
I'm glad you said candy.
Yep.
Oh, some hard coffee?
Maybe. So anyways, we're going to dip into fun time right after a quick little break.
One more thing. Sorry, quickly. Just going to more Slime Marlboro stuff, if you don't mind.
Again, should have saved this for fun time. Would have been great.
We had another fun time. As a man who always works alone, Sly Marlboro only uses what he can carry with him, which, being a Katachian jungle fighter, is a fair bit. Yet Sly travels relatively light. He's incredibly adept at using the entire battlefield as a lethal weapon.
Ooh, so he'll be teleporting around. Or laying traps or something.
I can't wait. It's
Fun time.
Like we said before, this tournament allows everyone to look at each other's lists, so we all picked a list that we really, really like, and we're just going to briefly go over it. So I picked Jesse McGivney, who has to be one of the best hobbyists in our club. I have the pleasure of playing him at Astronomicon.
Oh, Adam!
It's 100th Meridian.
Oh, R.I.P. Gordowny.
No, I'm sad.
Yep.
Great hobbyist, great painter, good player.
Gordowny?
Jesse McGivney.
Oh, okay.
So he loves his war machines. So he's bringing Chaos Space Marines. I'm just going to focus on the stuff that I like and ignore the chaff. So he's got 1 Defiler, 2 Defilers, 2 Defilers, a Chaos Decimator.
Which one's that?
Which one is that? I'm good. Chaos Decimator is like a kind of like a.
It's a Forge World model. It's
Leviathan Junior.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep, it's
got
very cool.
2 Butcher Cannons?
He's running it with 2 Storm Lasers.
Oh, okay.
A Chaos Vindicator Laser Destroyer.
Interesting.
A Blood Slaughterer of Khorne.
Dope.
A Hellforge Contemptor Dreadnought. And 3 Hellbrutes.
He's going all in on the close combat, hey? I mean, obviously not the Destroyer.
There's some good shooting. You know, the Hellbrutes got Reaper autocannons, plasma cannons, heavy bolters. Don't forget Defilers have battle cannons.
They're hitting on 4s.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If they move, they're hitting on...
Vindicator Laser Destroyer is really good.
Yeah, that's gonna...
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a Carries Pattern Assault Cannon for a Contemptor Dreadnought. He's not bringing a Leviathan.
Yeah. Honestly, that Pattern Assault Cannon is just really underwhelming to me. Like, every game I use it, I'm just kind of like, meh.
How many shots does it have?
6.
So what's the difference between it and a normal assault cannon?
I don't know.
2 shots?
No, normal assault cannon 6 shots now.
Oh, it's 1 higher strength? No?
I don't know.
It used to be it was strength 7, and the regular was strength 6.
Does someone have an index kicking around?
Yeah, dude.
We can find this out. But continue talking while I do.
Yeah, there's got a bunch of cultists and a dark apostle, and I'm done. I'm really. I hope I play that list because it sounds like a blast to play. All those war machines going across the table.
Yeah, this is a list where I'm like, as a Primaris player with barely any anti-tank, I'm like, I don't even know what I would do against that.
Well, talking about what you don't know to do against anti-tank, we have not new to the club, but like it's cool to see him coming out. Is we got Michael Grove, and he's got I think my favorite list I've ever seen someone bring to a tournament, just because it's cracking me up. So his HQ, that's a Big Mac. His troops, 2 squads of 10 Gretchen. Then his heavy support is a Death Tread, and it's a Death Tread, and it's a Death Tread. And then it's a Kill-A-Can, 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 Kill-A-Can. Rounding it out.
Totaling 10?
10, and rounding it out is a Morkanaut.
And 2 flyers, right?
And 2 flyers, 2 Dakajets.
That's awesome.
This list is going to be a weird steamroller. Like, I don't know how it's going to function on the table, but I'm really excited to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
Just because if you got that many Kill-A-Cans and a Morkanaut in your collection, you're all right by me.
Okay, so the difference between a Carries Pattern Assault Cannon and an Assault Cannon is 1 point of strength,
Okay.
and the Carries Assault Cannon is 4 points more.
Okay.
4 points for
Strength 7? That makes a huge difference, though, when you're going against vehicles.
Yep.
Most vehicles are strength a 6 or above, so either wounding vehicles on 3s or 4s is much better than wounding them on 4s or 5s.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool to know. Good to know.
I'm still kind of unimpressed with assault cannons.
Well, yeah, because assault cannons used to be 4 shots, and then carries was 6, and you're just like... Brrr. But yeah, no. Sorry.
now you need 2.
You guys remember when assault cannons would jam when you rolled 3 ones to
I
hit?
loved that.
I remember it because I play Heresy, and they do that now.
Not carries.
No,
not
the
carries.
Illustraris pattern.
Yeah.
Which Blood Angels can just replace any heavy flamer with.
Yeah, and so can Imperial Fist.
Oh, really?
I think maybe only on Terminators.
Oh, okay. Because I know Mike Kahn runs his Dorito with 2 assault cannons, and it's just awesome because you're just like, wait, what?
Come again?
What do you got, Adam?
All right, the final one. I have a fun little Tyranid list here.
Oh, that's not fun.
Written by an evil man.
The worst human being.
Probably,
ever.
yeah. I think he is the nadir of human experience meeting him. This is what he gets for telling me not to call him nice.
He's just generally not a nice person to be around.
Kind of just sucks.
Yeah. All right, so it's a brigade. It's Tyranids. 2,000 points.
Tyrannids.
And the core of this thing here is 60 Gene Stealers.
And 2 Broodlords.
Yeah, well, I'm starting with, you know. Yeah, the 2 Broodlords who lead in the pack. Oh, man, that's a lot of HQ units. Broodlord, Malanthrope, Neurothrope. That's 5 HQ units. I don't think I've ever played a game with 5 HQ units.
Oh, Lord knows I have.
In my history of Warhammer. Anyway, so the 60 Gene Stealers, and then to round out the other 2 troop choices, just filling it in with some Rippers and Termagants. But here we go. Elites, Lictor.
Oh no, I don't even know what they do. I need to read this codex quickly.
You do.
I think the rest is just filler. It's Muclid Spore.
I don't think those are filler, man. I don't even know what those do.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Are those the ones that, like...
They're the big spore mine that just floats around.
That worries me. You said mine. It means they're going to explode.
It's something I should have an idea about.
Yeah. 3 individual biophores to fill out the 3 heavy support. Oh my gosh. 2 more HQs. Wait, what?
What? You're not reading that right.
What's going on? Oh, he has another patrol detachment with 2 HQs and just a Ripper Swarms. So another 2 more Neurothropes and Ripper Swarms.
Oh, Matt Schnar, you bad man, you.
This is awesome. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's really thematic. I love the style of it, right? The Lictors, the Broodlords, the Gene Stealers. It's going to be
hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to displace.
Yeah. That's not even a word.
He hasn't said what Hive Fleet he's using though.
Oh yeah, he didn't say on here.
Yeah.
This must be like I don't know what this is, an upgrade or something. It's the Ymgarl factor.
Yeah, I think that might be a relic or something.
Yeah, it's got to be a relic.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's not even a word. Look at that.
Yeah. Ymgarl.
Ymgarl.
It's a type of Gene Stealer.
Ymgarl.
Is that like, hey girl,
That's the planet that they first encountered them on. It was a moon, I believe, and back then.
It's not a planet.
Yeah, so that's why that part came after as a correction, because that's how time works and words. But yeah, no, that's the planet that they found them on first.
Neat. Fun fact. That's the cherry on top of fun time right there.
That's the moon they found them on.
Get ball. It's the moon they found them on.
The planetoid. You know the moon is slowly moving away from us.
Yeah, because I keep staring at it, saying bad things to it.
No, like 7 centimeters a year.
Well, we should get really worried.
We should, because in like 4 billion years, the moon will be tidal locked, and it will just be really bad.
I'll have bigger problems then.
What's the title lock?
Where it just constantly stays pointed at the same part of the Earth. So, like, where the moon is, all of its gravity will just suck all of the water to one side of the planet.
All of the water, or just high tide?
High tide,
Yeah.
but a lot of high tide.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the name of the place in Halifax where I went to see the mud flats. So it's like a 26-foot tide. It's the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
And when tide goes out, it like literally there's no water in this whole lake area,
Yeah.
and it's just mud flats. It's so cool.
It's
And the water's all red.
It's a sound. Like that. No, that's the
I know,
name.
I got it.
Good night, everybody.
Like a monkey in a